G'day everyone, morning. Want to talk about technology and agriculture. How many farmers out there would like to go back to the old school where you don't have all the sensors and devices to enhance your operation, I guess? When they play up, everyone sees them as a hindrance, not a help. But let's be honest, would you really want to go back 25 years and have the equivalent machines back then, today? So would you really want to have a tractor without auto steer? Would you really like to have a tractor without the ability to change your flow and your time from your SCVs? What about the ability for the machine to pick the gear that it's most fuel efficient in? Would you like to go back to manually pushing it up in the power shift to, let's say, 8th gear, 12th gear, whatever, every time you turn around or speed up or slow down? Think about it. Would you really like that? I know for me, I look after a fairly large farm and have around 15 machines at my disposal to get the job done, and they're all, well, most of them are within 3,000 hours of usage at the moment, so it's a fairly new fleet. We wouldn't get the efficiencies that we have today if we didn't have these newer machines. That's something to think about. Because I was sitting here yesterday and I'm pulling up hills for a crop, and I was sitting here thinking, gee, I've done this before, with marker arms and all that, and how much fun it wasn't. And I'm sitting here in this 8RT 410 horsepower John Deere, and it's a breeze. No stress, just watch the implement, make sure it's not doing anything crazy, and let it do its thing. So if you really think going back to the old days with less sensors and less electrics is better, tell me why. Right? Don't just say it's better because they don't break down. That's a load of crap. I remember 4955s, 4850s breaking down all the time. It was a mechanical problem that you could see, but they still broke down, and more costly because it was something hard. It wasn't a sensor saying that there's a fault and it caused an issue. It was a mechanical issue that caused a big problem. Have you ever thought that maybe the sensors are saving you money by letting you know there's an issue first before something bad actually happens? I'll probably get a lot of hate from the old school farmers about this, but that's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. This is mine. I just think we're far better off. Would you really want to pull up hills without auto steer now? Would you really want to go back to wide and narrow guess rows and having guys who can't count rows? Or if you're a broadacre farmer, would you really want to go back to having the overlap that you used to have before auto steer? Would you really want to have the issues you have without the sensors? Let's say a sensor saves you from a transmission because it's noticed that it's getting hot because your operator hasn't cleaned out the oil cooler heat exchanger. What then? So you're up for a transmission that a sensor, the sensor might have played up and the sensor might have been $200. saying that you've got an issue, but really you didn't. But you change the sensor and you're good to go again, and your transmission's okay. But what if you didn't have that sensor and it did get hot and it did burn out all your clutch packs? That $200 sensor that held that tractor up for, let's say you lost a day, is better than a week in the shop, isn't it? Say $50,000 to $150,000 repair bill, depending on the tractor, the problem, the transmission, etc., etc. The list goes on. Yep, I get it. It is frustrating as hell when it's just a sensor and it stops a tractor and you know there's nothing wrong with it. But look at the big picture. It's more efficient. You're actually getting more done than you used to, using less fuel. So, yeah. What gives me the right to talk about it? Oh, well, driven machinery for a fair amount of time, been involved with agriculture pretty much my whole life, been at the user end, and I've also been at the OEM end, making the product, not actually working for a dealer, but involved in ag technology, building and defining products for people to use to make them more efficient. So I've got a fair understanding of the problems that farmers face, the problems that OEMs face, the problems that dealers face when it comes to the frustrations of the end user of the product. So let me know what you think. What do you think about new technology? Love it? Hate it? Don't want it? Want to go back to the old school? Want to go back to like 4955s, 4850s, all those good, good machines, and they were good. Don't get me wrong, they were a great bit of gear, and they're ultra reliable, and they hardly gave issues because they were all mechanical. Do you want to go back to a Soundguard 2 cab versus what we have today? No, I don't. So anyway, I'll leave this one here. Let me know what you think. It'd be good. Some good conversation might come out of it. Righto. Hooroo.